Okay, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the latest episode of The Amazing Race Canada, well, there's your spoiler alert. Listen to this.
We didn't wait too long.
Rebecca and Rebecca, you are the last team to arrive. I am sorry to tell you this, but you have been eliminated from the race.
Yeah.
We're the first all-Indigenous female team to run in the Amazing Race Canada, and we feel so much gratitude to have gotten this experience, racing around this big, beautiful land.
So the dynamic duo of the two Rebeccas, Rebecca M and Rebecca W, were the latest to get eliminated from the Amazing Race Canada. And joining us now are the Rebeccas, Rebecca M, Rebecca W. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us on CP24 Breakfast. It's great of you to join us. How are you both feeling this morning?
Splendid. How are you?
Lovely. Amazing. Look, I want to talk about something really important to start off because, you know, we're talking representation this morning, and this was huge. This was the first that we saw 3 Indigenous team members for the Amazing Race Canada, but you guys kind of topped it off by being the first female Indigenous team. What did that mean for you, Rebecca M, if you want to start?
It meant the world. You know, we grew up not seeing people on television or in media that looked like us. So we have some big shoes to fill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and honestly, I really enjoyed watching the both of you. I mean, listen, the race is full of drama, we know that, but I feel like you guys had this like cool, calm, collective strategy. Was there a strategy, Rebecca W, going into this race?
Honestly, I think the biggest strategy for us was just to go in and have a good time. And honestly, just to follow our values of just being, you know, kind, to race with integrity and just to race with that good energy. And I think that was shown during that shoot.
Yeah, you definitely carried that through the race. I'll stay with you, Rebecca W, because you are a breast cancer survivor. So, you know, we're talking representation on so many fronts here. But I want to go back to the 5th leg of the race because it seemed like you had a bit of sense of calm when you went to the Northwest Territories. That's where you call home. How did that impact that leg of the race, if it did for you, both?
I think if anything, I was just more so excited to be back there. I really enjoyed being back home and just being that representation for my NWT relatives, and I hope I did them proud.
It was so awesome to watch. You could really feel that sense of calm and that excitement that you had. You guys were really just both in your element. You carried through with such grace. Rebecca M, I want to talk about this leg of the race that we're seeing, which was yesterday, the joust. My goodness, I just kind of wanted to like hold you up on there. I was, you know, it was such a close race with, you know, with Nippy and Magoo. You guys had the time penalty. Why did you feel it was effective to team up with Grace and Joe? But then ultimately, why was it such a close race between Nippy and Magoo in the end? Because you guys were really neck and neck by the end of like the goat yoga as well.
Yeah, you know, anything can change in this race, you know, in a drop of a dime. We tried our best, and teaming up with Grace and Joe we saw them there, and we just saw, you know, they're our friends. She's our friend, Joe's our friend. We decided let's help each other out. And yeah, it was a tough go at the end there with Nippy and Magoo, you know, going against each other, knowing that this is probably gonna be for last place eventually, you know. So, but it was bittersweet. But we tried to have a good attitude, and you know, we tried our best.
Yeah, for sure. Well, look, you got the assist. You tried your best. You still made it out ahead, in my opinion. What's next for both of you? I know you guys, you know, want to do a lot of work in the community with youth, representing your Indigenous communities. So, what's next for you both? If you want to start, Rebecca W.
Yeah, absolutely. I think honestly is just to just continue being that representation that we didn't have as youth, just to be out there as much as we can, to be able to represent our youth, to just be able to provide that education and just be that, yeah, that representation that we didn't have. Yeah.
And you, Rebecca M., what's next for you?
I'm going to continue on in my career of acting and modeling, and I also do costuming and film and television. So hopefully being that representation behind the screen as well. I think that's also just as important, you know, with telling our own stories and having that influence behind screen, making sure that our stories are told accurately and, you know, with the collaborative of all of communities coming together that are Indigenous. And yeah.
I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot more of the Rebeccas. So again, I want to thank you both for joining us on CP24 Breakfast. Best of luck with what's next on whatever leg and whatever journey takes you next. Thanks again for joining us.